When you go silent, it is not always a sign of weakness. Often, it is a mark of profound strength, a deliberate retreat into yourself to gather your thoughts, heal your wounds, and understand the depth of your own emotions. Silence can be a shield in protecting your heart from the noise of the world and the chaos that tries to invade your peace. In moments of silence, you confront your own truths, those truths that are uncomfortable, raw, and unspoken, yet have the power to transform you. The world may mistake your quiet for surrender, but it is in these quiet moments that you are forging resilience, crafting a spirit that can withstand storms. Silence allows your soul to breathe, to untangle the webs of confusion, and to find clarity in the midst of life's relentless demands. It is a sacred pause, a time to reflect on your journey, to remember who you are, and to honor the emotions that often go unnoticed. In your silence, you listen not just to the external world, but to the inner whispers of your heart, which often speak louder than words ever could. You become an observer of your own life, noticing patterns, recognizing lessons, and understanding the subtleties of human relationships that you might otherwise overlook in the clamor of constant noise. Going silent is also an act of courage, for it requires you to face yourself without distractions, to acknowledge fears that you usually bury, and to confront the pain you try to avoid. In these moments, you may cry quietly, feel deeply, and yet find a strange solace in the awareness that being silent does not mean being broken. It means you are rebuilding, piece by piece, learning patience, and discovering the value of introspection. Silence is not emptiness, it is fullness, a richness of mind and spirit that can only be experienced when you step away from the constant chatter of others. It is here, in the quiet, that you realize the importance of self, compassion, the necessity of forgiving yourself, and the power of letting go of expectations that do not serve your growth. When you go silent, you begin to notice the little things, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the rhythm of your own breathing, the gentle beat of your heart reminding you that you are alive and capable of enduring more than you ever thought possible. This silence is a companion that teaches you patience, empathy, and humility. It is a space where your mind and soul converse, where your thoughts take shape, and where your dreams start to crystallize into something tangible. The world outside may rush, demand, and question your quietude, but your silence is a rebellion against unnecessary noise and a commitment to inner peace. It allows you to discern what truly matters from what merely distracts. In this sacred space, you cultivate gratitude, resilience, and self-awareness, discovering that silence is not a void, but a sanctuary where strength is nurtured, clarity is achieved, and a deeper connection with yourself is formed. Going silent is a profound act of self-preservation, a conscious choice to honor your own mental and emotional landscape. It is here, in this silence, that you find your authentic voice, not the one forced by societal pressures, but the one that resonates with the essence of who you are. Silence becomes a teacher, revealing your priorities, your passions, and your boundaries. It reminds you that not every battle needs words, not every feeling needs expression, and not every situation requires your energy. In this quietude, you learn the art of letting things unfold naturally, trusting in the process of life, and finding comfort in the present moment. It is in this deliberate silence that you grow, not in haste or noise, but in depth, understanding, and quiet strength. And as you move through life, carrying the lessons from your moments of silence, you realize that this quiet is not emptiness. It is a space of infinite potential, a realm where your spirit regenerates, your mind gains clarity, and your heart learns the beauty of listening deeply to itself. Silence becomes a sacred practice, a way to honor yourself, to nurture your emotional well-being, and to emerge more centered, more grounded, and more aligned with your true self. Keynote Twain: silence is a language of strength, expressing what words cannot, and protecting your energy from the chaos around you. Silence is a language of strength, one that speaks louder than words ever could, and it carries a power that is often invisible to those who expect constant noise and expression. When you choose to be silent, it is not because you have nothing to say, but because you recognize that not every moment, every situation, or every person deserves your energy, your voice, or your emotion. Silence becomes a shield, a protective barrier that guards your heart against unnecessary hurt, gossip, or the judgments of those who do not understand your journey. It is in this silence that you assert control over your life, deciding when to engage, when to step back, and when to preserve your peace above all else. People may perceive your quiet as weakness, a lack of courage, or even indifference, but they fail to see the deliberate strength it takes to withhold a response, to resist reacting impulsively, and to maintain composure in the face of provocation. Silence allows you to observe the world around you with clarity, to watch the true colors of people, to notice patterns in behavior, and to discern who genuinely values your presence and who simply demands it. In moments of silence, you become the observer of your own life, understanding that your energy is precious, your time is limited, and your peace is not negotiable. Choosing silence is an act of wisdom because it prioritizes reflection over reaction, patience over impulsiveness, and inner balance over external validation. It is a way of telling the world that you are not easily shaken, that your power does not lie in the volume of your words, but in the depth of your understanding, the steadiness of your heart, and the clarity of your mind. Silence, in this sense, becomes a declaration of independence from the noise that demands constant attention, a way to protect your emotional and mental well-being, and a practice of self-respect. It allows you to preserve your integrity, to respond thoughtfully rather than emotionally, and to navigate the complexities of life with a centered heart and a clear mind. By embracing silence as a language of strength, you learn that it is possible to communicate without speaking, to influence without asserting, and to heal without explanation. In this quiet, you discover the subtle power of restraint, the elegance of patience, and the profound impact of simply being present without the need for constant validation or approval. Silence becomes not just a reaction, but a conscious choice, a deliberate practice that strengthens your character, refines your judgment, and nurtures a deep inner peace that nothing external can disturb. It is in these moments, when the world is loud and demanding, that your silence shines the brightest, revealing the depth of your resilience, the steadiness of your soul, and the unspoken wisdom that comes from truly understanding yourself and your place in the world. Going silent allows reflection, a deep and often necessary pause where you confront your thoughts, feelings, and experiences without distraction or judgment. In the quiet, you can truly see yourself, not the version presented to the world, but the raw, unfiltered soul that carries both scars and dreams. Reflection is not always easy. It asks you to face mistakes, acknowledge regrets, and sit with emotions you may usually try to ignore. Yet, it is in this very process that growth begins. When you go silent, you create space to untangle the chaos of your mind, to organize the fragments of your experiences, and to understand the patterns that have shaped your life. You begin to notice what triggers pain, what inspires joy, and what drives you toward your goals. This awareness is a quiet power. It is the strength that comes from knowing yourself intimately and choosing to act in alignment with that understanding rather than simply reacting to the noise around you. Reflection through silence teaches you the value of patience, allowing insights to surface slowly and truths to reveal themselves naturally rather than being forced. It nurtures self-compassion because you learn to forgive yourself for the missteps and stumbles that are part of being human. In these moments, you understand that clarity is not instantaneous, that answers often come gradually, and that inner peace is cultivated over time. Going silent for reflection also helps you discern your boundaries, recognizing where to invest your energy and where to step back, protecting your emotional and mental well-being. It is here, in this reflective quiet, that you reconnect with your purpose, realign with your values, and see the bigger picture of your life's journey. Every pause, every moment of stillness, allows you to listen to your own heart, to recognize what truly matters, and to find the courage to let go of what no longer serves you. Through silence, you learn the art of understanding yourself and your relationships with others more deeply, realizing that reflection is not a luxury, but a necessity for anyone who seeks to live authentically, intentionally, and with emotional clarity. It is in this quiet reflection that you rediscover your strength, your voice, and your path, and you emerge not only wiser, but more grounded, capable of facing the world with clarity, purpose, and calm resolve. Silence fosters resilience, a quiet, enduring strength that cannot be measured by outward appearances, but is deeply felt within the heart and mind. When you embrace silence, you are giving yourself the chance to recover from emotional turbulence, to process disappointments, and to withstand the pressures that life imposes without losing your center. Resilience is not born from ease or comfort. It is cultivated in the spaces where you are forced to confront challenges alone, to sit with your pain, and to rise again each time life tests you. In the stillness of silence, you develop patience, the understanding that healing and growth cannot be rushed, and that true strength often comes from enduring what seems unbearable while remaining composed and mindful. Silence allows you to see that not every battle requires immediate reaction, not every opinion deserves a response, and not every setback defines your worth. It is here, in these quiet moments, that you discover the power of self-reliance, the importance of trusting your intuition, and the ability to navigate hardships with dignity and grace. By going silent, you create a space for your mind to process experiences without interference, for your heart to mend without external pressure, and for your spirit to gain confidence in its own capacity to endure. This resilience built in silence is subtle but profound. It equips you to face future challenges with a calm determination, knowing that you have survived before and that you are capable of doing so again. Silence teaches you that strength is not always loud or visible, but is often quiet, steadfast, and unwavering. It shows that the ability to remain grounded in the face of uncertainty, to respond rather than react, and to act with intention rather than impulse is a mark of true resilience. Through silence, you come to understand that life's difficulties are not meant to break you, but to shape you, to refine your character, and to illuminate your capacity for endurance. Each moment of quiet fortifies your mind and soul, teaching you that inner strength is nourished not by constant activity or external validation, but by reflection, patience, and the courage to face your own truths. The resilience cultivated in silence empowers you to approach life with balance, composure, and self-assurance reminding you that even in the absence of noise, encouragement, or recognition, you are capable, you are strong, and you are growing. Choosing silence can be an act of profound self-care, a deliberate and compassionate decision to protect your emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being from the constant demands of the world around you. In a society that glorifies noise, opinions, and constant output, going silent is a revolutionary act. It is saying to yourself that your peace matters, your energy is valuable, and your heart deserves space to breathe. Silence allows you to step away from chaos, from people who drain you, and from situations that cloud your clarity, giving you the opportunity to reconnect with yourself in a meaningful and intentional way. It is an invitation to slow down, to observe your own thoughts and emotions, and to give attention to the aspects of your life that truly need nurturing. Through silence, you learn to listen to your inner voice, the quiet guidance of your intuition, and the subtle prompts of your heart that often get drowned out by external noise. It becomes a form of protection, a way to shield your mind from negativity, your heart from unnecessary hurt, and your spirit from distraction. Self-care in silence is not selfish, it is essential. It teaches you boundaries, reminding you that it is okay to say no, to step back, and to choose yourself over the pressures of expectation. In these moments, you learn to prioritize your needs, to honor your feelings, and to give yourself the grace to rest without guilt. Silence nurtures reflection, patience, and clarity, allowing you to recover from exhaustion, process experiences deeply, and regain perspective on life's challenges. It is a sacred pause, a gentle reminder that taking care of yourself is not a luxury, but a necessity, and that sometimes the most powerful act you can take is simply to step away from the noise, breathe, and be fully present with yourself. In embracing silence as self-care, you cultivate resilience, emotional intelligence, and inner peace, discovering that your strength does not always come from action, but often from the quiet courage to honor your own needs, protect your energy, and allow yourself the freedom to heal, reflect, and grow at your own pace. Silence, when chosen consciously, becomes a sanctuary, a safe haven where your mind rests, your heart mends, and your soul reconnects with the essence of who you are. In silence, you discover your authentic voice, the deep, unwavering truth of who you are beneath all the expectations, pressures, and noise of the world. It is here, in quiet moments, that you learn to listen, not to the voices that demand, judge, or compare, but to your own heart, the one that knows your desires, your dreams, and your values more clearly than anyone else ever could. This voice may not be loud, it may not seek attention, but it is powerful, guiding you toward choices that align with your true self and away from situations that compromise your peace. Silence teaches you to discern what is necessary, what is meaningful, and what is merely distraction, giving you clarity in your decisions and purpose in your actions. Through quiet reflection, you come to understand that authenticity is not performing for approval, not speaking to please others, and not molding yourself to fit expectations, but living in alignment with your own values, beliefs, and convictions. In these silent moments, you find courage, the courage to set boundaries, to walk away from toxicity, and to embrace your individuality without apology. You realize that the world does not need your constant explanation, your endless justifications, or your approval-seeking words. What it needs is your integrity, your sincerity, and your presence grounded in truth. Silence allows your authentic voice to rise naturally, free from fear, doubt, and external influence. It teaches patience, for your voice need not be rushed or forced. It emerges in its own time, strong, clear, and purposeful. It reminds you that listening is as important as speaking, that observation carries wisdom, and that understanding yourself fully enables you to connect more deeply with others in meaningful ways. In discovering your authentic voice through silence, you also cultivate self-respect, inner peace, and a sense of empowerment that comes from knowing that you are enough exactly as you are. Your words, when spoken, carry weight because they come from a place of clarity and truth, not compulsion or insecurity. In this way, silence is not emptiness. It is preparation, reflection, and revelation. It is the space where your spirit grows, your thoughts settle, and your true self emerges fully, ready to engage with the world in honesty, strength, and authenticity. Silence teaches that authenticity is a journey, not a destination, and that by honoring the quiet within, you honor the real you, the resilient you, and the voice that has always been waiting patiently to be heard, understood, and expressed.